welcome to our midweek money chat on a Sunday. Today we're going to chat about how to set a budget as a couple, but most importantly, how to stay on that budget as a couple. My first point, and I think it's pretty much the most important point, is that any budget that's going to work for the pair of you, you've got to have agreed goals. Think back to those heady days when you were first together, those really exciting times. They were really forward thinking, weren't they? Let's move in together, let's buy a house together, let's get married, let's retire to France together, whatever it is something that you work on together. And those are your goals. The huge important things on having those agreed goals, those shared dreams, is that you set them together. It's really proven that writing those things down really, really helps you. So there's my first point, and I think it is the most important. Before you ever even put pen to paper and set a budget, is why. Why are we budgeting? What are we budgeting for? And how are we going to do that together? First point, set your goals together. My second point is you are going to require some financial skills. You are going to have to learn some financial skills. So you don't know anything about budgeting, do your research. What does a budget look like? We've got links below to how we write our budget. But you need to do that. How are we going to do this? But my big advice, and it is advice, it's not an instruction, it's what we do, is we had to learn those budgeting skills together. We've got better at them over time, but we've done it together. Again, we're both adults, we're both responsible, we both have to get on and do this. So when we were in debt, we had to learn about repaying that debt as fast as possible. When we needed to develop sinking funds to pay for the things that come up every year, we had to learn about that and how to do that. You're both equally responsible. Now, there are things that we weren't very good at together, but one thing I would suggest that everybody needs, especially when it comes to budgeting together or learning any skills together or improving any money saving skills together, is you do need that metaphorical rubber backside, because you are going to fall on it many times. You are going to have to pick yourselves up. You're both going to reflect on that and think about how are we going to improve our financial skills, our financial education together. Any budget is going to require some tool. It could be as simple as a notepad. It could be an app, it could be a spreadsheet, but you're going to need some tool, because a budget is not a budget unless it's written down. So you need to find the tool that works for you. Now, previously, we used spreadsheets, but it wasn't something that was easily accessible for the both of us. It worked, but it didn't work for both of us. And now we've improved our financial skills and we've improved our budgeting skills. We've tried and tested methods. We have found the tool that works for us. The tool that works for us is a budget book. We can track our budget, what we're going to spend our money on for the month. We can track our spending on what we have spent on the agreed amounts per month. Now, apps work for some people. Apps link into bank accounts that you both have access to. So if one spends, it shows up on the other person's app. It's equal to both of you. Ours is great because we both write our receipts into our tracking of our spending. We can both see it there. But it has to work for both of you. You might go, oh, well, I really like a spreadsheet. Does she? Does he? You have to find out what works best for both of you. So find the tool that works for both of you. When setting a budget with both of you, and when sticking to that budget with both of you, you've got to have regular budget meetings. There's no point that Ethel is saying, Bert, what's in the bank account? And Bert saying, oh, I thought you were doing it, Ethel. This is something you've both got to be doing. Now, some people turn around and say you can have budget dates. I can't think of anything less romantic. You know, I want us to sit down when we go out for dinner or we go out for lunch or we go out for a coffee and discuss about how much we love each other, not how much we're saving up for the car. So we have regular budget meetings. They've got to happen every month. If you're paid every month, they've got to be every month. If you're paid bi-monthly, that some people are, they've got to be with that payment schedule. You've got to have them every single month. You've got to check that diary for the year. When's school going back? What do the children need and when? When does the car go in for the service? When does the water bill come out of the account? You've got to know these things absolutely equally. When does the car get its service? How often does the car need new tyres? You've both got to know. You're both adults. It's both of your monies. It's both of your budgets, and you both have to be working on it together. So agree together when you have that monthly budget meeting. Agree that budget, which is written down every single month, and make sure you're both part of this discussion. A budget isn't something that you do to someone else. A budget isn't something that is done to you. A budget is something you both agree on and you both work on. Now, my next point is about having weekly, quick financial check-ins. This could be where you put your receipts into your budget book or your receipts into your app, or you're putting your receipts into your spreadsheets, or however you do it. You may have a discretionary amount each per month for which you do not check in to each other on every single little bit you spend. For example, you may have an agreed amount per month of €50, dollars, pounds, or whatever that amount is that you can spend on anything from coffees to a beer, whatever it is. But you are tracking that amount. Bit difficult if you've gone out for coffee or whatever, but you are tracking those amounts. There's no good getting to week 3 when you've agreed on a certain amount and you're spending over it. You need to be tracking that each week and holding yourself and each other accountable. The next thing I'm going to go into, which is really, really important for budgeting together or sharing money together or sharing anything together, is you have to trust each other with each other's logins. So we have a joint bank account, but we have a savings account that we use equally, which come in each names. We couldn't do those in joint names. We needed to have those in separate names. But we each of us have the logins. We each of us trust each other with that. We each of us have an occupational pension that each of us have a login for. We each of us need to know. There are in-death benefits for each other's spouse if anything happens to either of us. We each of us have our own separate health insurance, but we each know the logins. We have to check in on that. We have a system where one insurance pays for health insurance and so on. But you both need to know. If anything happens for practical reasons, you do both need to know. They are all part of your budgets. They are paid for. They are money in and out of the house. So you both need to know. There are systems that you have in place that you need to pay for, you both need to know, and you need to trust each other with those. My final point is all about financial fidelity. Once you've made that budget, you have made an agreement with each other. You have made promises to each other. If you start to break those promises, if one person starts spending from the family account, from their own account, and thinking it's my money, it's not your money, they've broken a very serious contract. There's nothing more sacred than the agreement that we have with each other. I don't care that we've made it legally. I don't care that you've made it through some kind of personal or religious commitment. What you've got is a commitment to each other. It's absolutely the most important thing that you have. And within that, I'm making that financial commitment to each other with that budget, with those check-ins, with those goals, and with those ideals. It's financial fidelity. And you do need to hold yourselves and each other to account. Because if you break that contract, if you break that deal, that's heartbreaking, that's awful, that's breaking that fidelity. So check in, hold each other to account, work hard at it, because that promise to each other is the most important thing that you both have. Now I'm going to finish with this. You both are going to grow. You're going to change. Your values may change, your ideals may change, your goals may change. And that might happen over a longer period of time or a shorter period of time. But anything will need evaluating, and that budget needs it too. It needs the flexibility to grow with you, to change with you. You may secure one goal, tick, we've got the house deposit. Tick, we've paid off the mortgage. Tick, we've paid into our pensions. Your goals and directions may change. Needs to be flexibility there. You as a couple aren't always going to agree. You're going to have to compromises. You may have to say, okay, I know a year ago, 6 months ago, a week ago, yesterday, 5 minutes ago, we agreed on this, but it's not working. We need to adapt, we need to grow, and we need to change. So sometimes you just have to accept this isn't working. We have to find a different and a better way. Because no marriage is worth breaking because of a budget. It's not worth it. So you do have to find what works for you, and if it doesn't work, change it. Well, I hope that helped, or you enjoyed it, or you found it interesting. If you did, give it a like. It's really great if you can give it a like. If you like what we share in our thrifty and frugal home here in Brittany in northwest France, go on, hit that subscribe button. Just leaves me to say thank you so very much for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye bye.